If I asked you to describe an American-style performance car, you'd probably think of something with a big engine up front, rear-wheel drive, and good straight-line speed. If I asked you to imagine a English kind of performance car, you might think of a small, light roadster like a Triumph or an MGB. America, England, Germany, Japan, they all have their own version of a performance car. But what about China? If I asked you to describe a Chinese performance car, would you have any idea what to say? That's why I have borrowed this LYNK&CO 03 Plus to try and find out what exactly is the distinct characteristic of a Chinese performance car. First, a little background. LYNK&CO is a sub-brand from Geely, a company you've definitely heard me talk about before on this channel. Created in concert with Volvo, which Geely owns, LYNK&CO offers a line of entry-level luxury vehicles that are positioned above Geely products but below Volvo. All of them, including this 03 sedan, are built on Volvo's compact modular architecture, the same platform as the Volvo XC40. But this isn't a normal 03. No, this is the 03 Plus, the performance variant, and arguably one of the few performance vehicles to come out of a Chinese brand, which is why I think it's a great place to start exploring the nature of Chinese performance. Despite its Swedish bones, it is immediately apparent when looking at the LYNK&CO 03 Plus that they do not practice the Swedish art of restrained, simple design. All LYNK&CO cars, including the 03 obviously, feature this kind of three-tier front fascia. To understand why it's so discomforting to look at it, you have to remember that most cars have a two-tiered front fascia design. The top tier is the headlights and grille, while the bottom tier is made up of the bumper, lower air intakes, and maybe some fog lights. In addition to those two tiers, the LYNK&CO 03 adds a third one in the form of these lights built into the fender. The result is that you don't really know where to look at the front of it when you see it on the road. It's kind of like meeting somebody with eyeballs in their forehead. It's a little bit uncomfortable. I think it makes the front end of the 03 Plus more multifaceted. What I mean is that the design of this car seems to shift based on what angle you're looking at it from. While researching for this video, I would sometimes stumble on a photo and think that Google Images had made some mistake, only to realize that it was indeed a photo of the 03 Plus. I just didn't recognize it at first. In a world full of cars that all look roughly the same, I actually find it kind of refreshing. Coming around to the rear, you can see that the design here is also pretty funky. You've got these clear taillight lenses, on top of which the 03 Plus performance models add quad exhaust, a rear diffuser, and this big ol' wang. I love it, even if I have no idea whether or not it actually has a lot of aerodynamic benefit. And just in case you forget what exactly this wing is for, there's a nice reminder here on the side. Downforce. Sitting inside the 03 Plus, you start to get the idea that the exterior designers were tame compared to whoever designed the interior of it. If you can name a material, this car has it. I imagine the conversation between Geely and their suppliers went a little something like this.
So you're making a new 03 Plus. What kind of the material do you need?
Everything.
Everything? You need chrome?
Yes.
Black plastic?
Yes.
Camouflage?
Yes.
How about Alcantara?
Absolutely yes.
How much?
All of it.
Okay.
The result is an interior full of materials and textures I've literally never seen inside of a car before. Take, for example, the digital camo here above the glove box, or here on the glove box, the dash here, there's this Alcantara full of, I guess, speed holes? I don't really know. Speaking of Alcantara, it's everywhere. And I mean everywhere. the steering wheel here, the shift knob, the dash, the ceiling, the back seats, the front seats. I mean, in terms of daily usability, this stuff is going to get dirty, and it is going to get dirty pretty quick. That's why, apparently, Lynk & Company has a specialized Alcantara cleaning service at the dealership just for the 03 Plus. All of that Alcantara, not to mention the quad exhaust, the rear diffuser, and that big wang in the back, promise a lot when it comes to performance. But can the 03 Plus actually deliver? Here are the basics. Up front, you've got a turbocharged 4-cylinder from Volvo pumping out 254 horsepower and 350 newton-meters of torque, all attached to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This thing puts power to the ground through a Borg-Warner 4-wheel drive system. That means a 0 to 100 km/h sprint in about 6 seconds. In terms of how it actually feels to drive, there isn't much this car can't do. The chassis feels very solid and acceleration is definitely adequate. On public roads, the 4-wheel drive is pretty unflappable. I've thrown it into corners probably faster than I should have, and it's very stable. The 8-speed transmission shifts quite smoothly and quickly when it's in manual mode, quick enough that I don't really yearn for a dual clutch. The Volvo 4-cylinder sounds surprisingly good, and it does so without resorting to pumping fake engine noise into the cabin through the speakers like some other cars. I think it has a nice metallic rasp to it. Let's have a listen. Now, having said all of that, this is, at the end of the day, still a compact family sedan. At least it's based on a compact family sedan platform. So, even though it performs pretty well in all categories, it's not really a sports car. But, in the end, it's pretty good at everything. It's comfortable, it's quick, and that makes it what I would consider a very good daily driver performance car. So, what have we learned about the nature of Chinese performance cars? Well, based on this sample size of 1, I think that the real defining characteristic of a Chinese performance car, at least today, is that Chinese manufacturers are willing to try things that traditional Western manufacturers just won't do. The Chinese car industry is still in its teenage rebellious years, and while that means they still have a lot of mistakes left to make, they're also willing to break the rules, the often arbitrary rules, that are set by more traditional manufacturers from Europe, the United States, or even Japan. If the future of Chinese performance cars is quirky, funky stuff like this, color me very excited. All right, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.